So your love of cooking, did it come from your father, or where did he first realize that you wanted to cook?
So I would say love for cooking actually came from the family. So
Mm.
my family is a foodie family. My grandfather was a baker.
Mm.
It's during the time when British were still ruling India, and Burma World War II started, and Burma War was happening. So British summoned a lot of bakers to come to East India. They needed a lot of bakers to come there so that prisoners of war camp was there and allied armies were stationed there. They needed to be fed.
Mm.
So that's how my granddad landed there. Mom and dad met in a place called Jamshedpur. Uh, the whole family we were born in Jamshedpur. Being a Punjabi family, we were born and bred in Jamshedpur. So I saw my granddad being a baker. Then my dad, who was an engineer, decided to become a caterer. And then I grew up around these two men who were hugely passionate about their craft.
Mm.
And it was, to an extent, it was infectious. It wasn't possible not to be able to get affected by it. And I did. So I was always on my granddad's tail and then my father's tail. When it came to uh, a time when I had to decide a career, like a good Indian boy, I sat for medical school and got a seat.
Mm.
But I also sat for hotel school, which I had told my dad that I want to do this. And I got a seat there as well. And mom was an academic. She was a little bit disappointed, but was happy that I'm going to do something that I will love.
Mm.
And that's how I landed in hospitality. And one of the best advice my dad and my mom gave me, that you come from a Punjabi family, you were born in East India. Why don't you go to South India and explore your own country, your own people, and learn something new?
Mm.
And I landed up Chennai. Didn't know the language, didn't know anybody. 17-year-old boy
Wow.
with two suitcases, a trunk, landed up there in hostel and never looked back, to be honest.
What did you learn from that move, from going somewhere where you didn't speak the language? I know it's the same country, but communication is important, right? Did you feel a bit like an outsider? What was
Oh,
it
yeah.
like for you?
It was like being in a foreign country.
Mm.
It was a pleasant shock, if I may say. Jamshedpur is quite a cosmopolitan town. So neighbors were from Orissa, Bengal, Gujarat, Mumbai, you name it. So growing up there all my life, I thought, yeah, this is how world is. Then you suddenly land up in a place, Chennai, place called Madras, not Chennai. That time it was Madras and now Chennai. Everyone speaks Tamil. Everything is written in Tamil or English sometimes. There's nothing in written Hindi. And you have to adapt very quickly.
Mm.
Even if you wanted a dozen of bananas, you need to speak in Tamil to be able to get that.
Yeah.
And I got through that. I got through that. But it took some time for me to understand how diverse
Yeah.
my country was,
Mm.
how beautiful this world was. People were amazing. They were very helpful. Once you got across the communication barrier, which I did over a period of time, I spoke fairly fluent Tamil when I was there. Uh, the world was no different than wherever I had come from, to be honest. They were same people, felt like family. I never wanted to leave Chennai when it came to end of my education. I fell in love with the place, with the people. Until date, now the mum, dad are gone. Loads of my friends are in Chennai. So whenever I think of India, I get goosebumps thinking about it, that
Mm.
I've got family in Chennai.
Mm.
I've got nobody from my blood relation in Chennai, but all those friends who live in Chennai, they are more than family to me.
What was interesting you talked about earlier is your grandfather. And I think that's something people don't really talk about enough in Indian culture, especially the grandfather's like another father, right? So I look back at my family life. I had all four grandparents are still alive until I was 30, right? Which is a
Fantastic.
blessing,
Of course.
a massive
Definitely.
blessing. Um, and what they individually taught me has stayed with me. What did your granddad teach you that your father couldn't teach you or didn't teach you? Did you find there's a different type of relationship between the two of them? Because they both helped define you as a man today, but I think they probably both taught you different things, right?
They both taught me different things, no doubt about it. So my dad became an orphan at very young age.
Mm.
So he was brought up by his uncle. lovely family. So he had a lot of love and affection. He never felt that he didn't have parents. So the granddad I'm talking, he's my mom's dad.
Yeah.
So for him, he was father-in-law. And they had a lovely relation between them, but they were two different people.
Mm.
My granddad was super organized, um, bit temperamental. Things didn't go his way, he will lose his cool. Very pious. His God came before anything else.
Mm.
His life always started with Shiva.
Mm.
Every morning starts with Shiva only, and he had his rituals, and everybody had to respect those rituals around him. And we all learned to do that. But that taught me discipline.
Mm.
How he had carved out a time frame for himself. Every morning there was a ritual, and he would just go minute by minute. He had that very strictly till the time he was alive. He always followed that. My dad was more rounded up, more fun person. Spoke little but smiled a lot. He was always there to give cuddles and cajolas. No moment was a bad moment. Positive, remaining positive was the biggest thing for him. Perhaps he had seen so much in life that nothing faced him. He always remained that he was always a glass half full person. And I think I got that a lot from him. So getting strength from two different people was amazing in my opinion.
How do you think that impacted your mentality now? Because happiness and positivity, it's a mindset. It's not based on what you have.
No,
Some of the richest people in the world as we know, the most miserable.
true.
So is that something that's stayed with you to this day? And how do you maintain your mindset? Because as soon as you've walked in, there's smiles, there's positivity, energy, you can feel it. What do you do to make sure you stay in that kind of mindset?
I think I wake up and my mind is buzzing. I'm
Well,
happy that I'm alive.
mm,
Got a new day, got a new lease for today. I'm happy that there's a lot I can do today. I'm going to meet some amazing people, and hopefully, I will try a little bit harder to be a better person than I was yesterday.
yeah.
I think those things keep me going. Rest is all ritual. Going to work, meeting chefs, working with the team. They're all ritual. They're all happy rituals,
Mm,
and they all have a rhythm to it. But remaining positive and looking at any situation and saying, okay, we can deal with this in a different way. It doesn't have to be head on. There's always a way around it as well. You need to look at that. So I've always been that kind of person, and I think I can dedicate that to part of my upbringing.
do you carve out time for yourself in the day? You're speaking about your granddad that does that. And it's funny, I start my day with meditation as well, because I think it's a reset we need, even though we've just slept.
Yeah,
Like you said, you wake up and your mind goes, right? And
yeah,
if you just follow that thought, sometimes you realize actually, I need to just slow down a little bit. If I start working straight away,
yeah.
it's usually not the best thing. So what's your mindfulness practice? Or how do you start your day?
So I'm an early riser, always been. My dad used to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning,
Well,
and the next person he would wake up is me
okay.
around 5:30 because he has made a cup of tea and he wants to share the cup of tea with someone. So it used to be me. So I got that in me. So I'm always up around 6 o'clock. So I've slipped another half an hour into my sleep schedule, and I wake up around 6. I'm up at 6, and I have a ritual, do my little stretching and listening to one or two podcasts which I love, and then I put on my shoes and get out for walking. So
Mm.
I live near Austerley Park, and that's my ritual, and
Uh,
that's my mindset. It resets everything in me when I'm out there, fresh air. Sometimes you come across a neighbor and you get talking to them and you talk totally different, no food, not his business, totally something, maybe geopolitics or something.
mm.
And that keeps me going, to be honest. But just wake up in the morning and go for a walk. I think it just the best thing I have in my life, to be honest. And it doesn't matter whether it was -3 or 30 degrees in the morning. I would still go out for a walk, and I have done that for many years, and I continue to do that.
Do you enjoy having time to yourself? Is it something that you savor?
I love it, to be honest. So my wife wakes up a couple of hours later than me, and I would love for her to come on the walks with me so that I can have chat to her as well. But that's kind of me time. Very selfish. I'm sorry,
No, it's not
but
selfish.
it just clears my mind. If there's something had happened yesterday and had been bothering me, I process it. That's the time I reset myself. What can I do? I can't do. All the plans, so to speak, can be made. And sometimes I have no thought at all and I'm just enjoying it.
Mm.
There's a new bud coming out and I saw those 4 ducks and they have a new duckling now. This is fantastic.
Mm.
I notice all those things and you just feel that you are in tune with your environment. It's an environment which I come to every day to inspire and love and look after
Mm.
myself rather than them. But I notice the changes.
That's quite interesting. So you've said it like it's an easy thing. This is awareness of the small details. A lot of people look way past that. They're out and they don't notice the beautiful little things around them. They're more concentrating on their phone or they're caught up in their mind. The awareness that you have, is that something that you've trained yourself to actively do, or is something that's always been like that with you?
I've never trained myself into it, but I think it's there.
Mm.
And it could be part of my training
Mm.
because being a chef, you're aware of your surroundings all the time. You notice everything that what's on the table, what's on the pass,
Mm.
what's on the stove. You're constantly managing that. Maybe it's that. I'm until you told me this, I didn't notice. But it was my reset with the nature, and I noticed the new birds come out, and I'll come back tomorrow and see how bigger
Yeah.
they become. And it's a very beautiful thing to actually observe because you see these things on camera that there's a little bud, and then within seconds it opens up to be a flower. But it's a very beautiful feeling when you walk past every day and see it's grown a little, grown a little, grown a little. And God forbid if somebody plucks that bud before I've seen it blossom, I get irritated.
Yeah. No, they say that if you can spot beauty in the little things, it shows where your mind and your heart is at, because it means you're in that state of consciousness, of thinking, where some people can easily look past it because they're so focused on maybe on things which are difficult, or
Yeah.
they're feeling anger or they're feeling pain. So they don't notice the beautiful things around them. But it's just an observation. I've always, when people ever tell me about stuff they notice in nature, I see it as a reflection of how they're feeling on the inside.
Sometimes mind is too preoccupied
Yeah.
for people and could be for me as well. Maybe a few things I also walk past and don't notice. But certain things that I get hooked onto, I notice that.
Yeah.